What's up, YouTube? For today's video, a Magician ability Pokemon team. Funnily enough, there's actually 6 exact Magician ability Pokemon. What Magician does, pretty much, if the Pokemon doesn't hold an item, it'll actually steal the item off the opposing Pokemon when it lands an attack. So I thought I could make a team around having consumable items, and then I could try and steal as many items as possible. And I thought it'd be pretty funny to see what items I could actually get. I got some great battles today. Let's get into it. If you enjoyed the theme teams and you want to support the channel, hit that like button, people. All right, first random battle here. We've got a Hatterene lead, and Hatterene is going to have Nuzzle, and that's going to paralyze me. Now, this Fennekin set is a Focus Sash set, so I could activate Magician, but in this case, sadly, it didn't work because Hatterene didn't take me down to my Sash, so I couldn't consume my item. So, a little bit of a disappointing start there, but the battle did really heat up soon, trust. So, Fennekin's down. Next Pokemon is Hoopa, so this is a physical Hoopa Unbound. I've got Fling and Iron Ball. This also works under the Trick Room as well. And that's just going to completely dominate Hatterene. So that's good. Now I can actually steal an item. Next Pokemon is Volcarona. So probably trying to scare me off with like a bug type move or something like that. I wasn't really scared because I had Terra Fighting. I also had Zen Headbutt too. The EVs on the Hoopa Unbound, I had 252 in health and 252 in attack and Brave Nature. Pretty low IVs in speed too. So go for that Terra Fighting just in case a bug moves comes my way. Zen Headbutt does a thumping amount of damage, and I stole the heavy duty boots. They're going to go for a Quiver Dance this turn, so obviously expecting me to swap here. Trying to scare me out with a bug move, but with Trick Room up and I hadn't Terra'd yet, I wasn't going to swap out. So I thought, you know what? I'll be a nice person. I'll fling their boots back at them. So that's the end of Volcarona. A complete disrespect there. So, pretty good start now. We got some good couple of items. Next Pokemon is going to be Roaring Moon. Sadly, Booster Energy is not one of those ones I can, take items from. There are a couple of exceptions, obviously, with the Magician ability too. Example 2, if you lose your item and say you faint due to like a recall move, you won't steal the item. So there are a couple of little things like that, exceptions to the rule. So obviously this is just going to be a Terra Flying Booster Energy Roaring Moon. I've totally never seen this one before. And it's going to spam Acrobatics. So I swapped in the Braxion. Sadly, Braxion is not going to live that, but I didn't really have a lot of expendable Pokemon to swap in there, so that was the most expendable. But don't worry, it comes back in, the future battles. Next Pokemon is Klefki here. This is a bulky Carmine set, and I've got Key Berry on this. So Key Berry increases the defense by 1 stage when you get hit by a physical move, and I thought that'd be pretty fun to use with Magician. A lot of people actually forget or don't even know that Klefki has Magician because everyone uses Prankster, right? So I say this could surprise a few people that haven't, really noticed that had that ability. So I got to paralyze on the Roaring Moon, which is good, and I started setting up a few Calm Minds here. Now, the EV spread I had on Klefki was health and defense. And I also had Bold Nature. So I knew that I could tank a few hits here because I knew that Roaring Moon didn't have a lot to hit me. Heck, maybe not even for neutral, right? So we've got that paralyzed again. So I did get a couple of turns where I got a paralyzed, which is very fortunate. And I got a special defense drop there. So that was pretty lucky getting that. So I just kept attacking, and we had like a couple of paralyzers here in a row, which really did help me out. I started going for Draining Kiss because I thought, well, that turn I'm probably going to get hit. Knockoff doesn't even do half health with an item, so that was pretty promising. And I just kept going for Draining Kiss. That was the sort of the play here. Draining Kiss was healing my health up as well. They're going to go for a final Acrobatics here, which it does a lot of damage, probably around what Knockoff did, very close. And I'm going to be able to finish the Roaring Moon off with Klefki. So that was good. Thank goodness I had Klefki on this team. It was difficult with this team because you had the Fennekin evolution line, and then you had both the Hoopas and then a Steel type. So it would have been bad if there was no Steel type Magician Pokemon. Next is going to be Ursaluna. So Ursaluna clearly is going to go for Earth Power. I've got Flash Cannon. I thought I could go about using that. and maybe I could try and set up Carmine, but I thought, no, I'm not going to do that because it's still going to faint me. So I just wanted to get some damage off there. I actually stole its Assault Vest with Magician, which is really cool. I knew it was Assault Vest, you know, on the damage that I did to it. And Blood Moon does not faint me, so maybe they expected a swap there. At this stage, I wasn't going to swap out because I didn't have a lot of health left, right? So Flash Cannon did a lot more damage that time now that I had the, you know, I actually took the Assault Vest and kept it for myself. And yeah, I actually allowed myself to live that Blood Moon too from stealing the Assault Vest. Next Pokemon is Delphox, and I'm going to show you something awesome here. So this is the PIMPNITE Special Delphox set. It's pretty cool, but it does take a little bit to set up and a little bit of luck too, but it's a cool set. So with Delphox, it's probably not going to live an Earth Power very well. So I thought I'll get Calm Mind off. I should just be able to live it and put myself in like a quarter range there or close to for a berry activation. So I got a Calm Mind off, right? I went for the substitute and I ate my Staff Berry. So Staff Berry randomly raises stat by 2 and I got speed, so that was good. I was already max speed anyway and max special attack, just thought I'd note that. So now I've got a Calm Mind up and I've got +2 in speed. So that's 4 boosts there, which is pretty strong. So that's going to give stored power and an additional 80 base power. So with the, you know, with that extra 20, that'll be 100 base power. So they had Vacuum Wave like every Ursaluna does. It just wasn't enough to faint me after the Calm Mind, and Ursaluna is going to go down. Now I'm super speedy, and I'm hitting really hard. Next Pokemon is going to be the Iron Bundle. Iron Bundle... this was pretty funny, actually. So I'm going to easily take that out with stored power. Its special defense is trash. And from that, I actually stole a Choice Scarf. I think it just skipped there, but I actually stole a Choice Scarf from it. Last Pokemon is going to be Annihilate, and Annihilate is going to get annihilated. And that is the end of the battle. So there you go. A nice little Delphox cleanup at the end there. Definitely, it was fortunate that I got a speed boost there too. I think Iron Bundle... would have outsped me there for sure. But I did have some backups for it anyway. Let's get on to the second battle there. This one is a random battle. This one's against Nesho. And this was pretty funny. So we've got a Quackquavel lead here. Now, I thought I'll set up Trick Room here, because it's just going to be an Aqua Step Moxie set, right? That's pretty obvious. So I know they're going to activate my Focus Sash. So this Fennekin, by the way, only had attack EVs. That's it. It was Brave Nature, 0 IV. So setting up the Trick Room here, that will set up my both my Hoopas, which are both Trick Room Pokemon. And Klefki isn't really all that fast without Prankster anyway. So I thought, you know, that's a pretty good suit for the team. So I've got Foul Play. The reason I went for Foul Play is so I can actually grab an item instead of going Flea Blitz. So I stole a Metronome. So I was like, oh, Metronome on Quackquavel. That's interesting. So I guess they plan to just keep spamming Aqua Steps so they can get a boost on that and Moxie, right? So that is the end of my Fennekin, but it's all good. It is going to get a Moxie, but that doesn't really faze me at all. So I'm going to go into Hoopa Unbound now. So Hoopa Unbound has got Zen Headbutt. This is going to do a lot of damage. The only thing I was a bit worried about that it would miss, but it didn't. And that is the end of Quackquavel. So that's that threat gone, which is good. And I've got like 3 more turns of Trick Room too. Next Pokemon is going to be Sparkles, which is Flutter Lame. And I've got Zen Headbutt. I've got quite a few options. I got Fling. I was like, let's go Fling. Let's get rid of my item. So I flung the Iron Ball, completely dumpsters. So that's 2 Pokemon down there. So that's pretty good. Now, since I don't have an item, my next attacking move will steal an item. Now watch this, right? So I was like, well, I can't use Fling. I guess I can use Zen Headbutt. That'll be pretty good. I could even go Terra Fighting here as well if they've got like a super effective move on me. But I was like, no, I'm just going to go Zen Headbutt. This should do some good damage. So great damage there. I stole another Metronome. I was like, what? That's 2 Metronomes? What's going on? Unfortunately, Dragapult hit Hoopa right in the hole. And yeah, that's going to be the end of it. So that was very unfortunate. Look, I could have gone for Terra Fighting there, but it was early days and I still had some other Pokemon left, right? Next Pokemon is going to be Cinderace. Now, Cinderace is a pretty scary Pokemon. The Trick Room has run out too. Now, this is a PIMPNITE special. We've got a max health, max special attack, Blunder Policy Braxion here. So Blunder Policy Magician. I've got Terror Blast Water, Hypnosis for the Blunder Policy, and also Fire Blast, but mainly Hypnosis. So I thought, I'll go for that. We've got a high jump kick here from Cinderace, whoever would have guessed that, and that does a lot of damage. So I didn't live that. Sadly, in this battle, Braxion didn't get to do much either, but he will throughout the video, trust. Next Pokemon is Delphox. I'm thinking, all right, something has to happen here. So I did a quick little swap into Hoopa. So Hoopa and Hoopa Unbound have different typing, right? So normal Hoopa's got Psychic and Ghost. So instead of going for high jump kick, I don't know whether they expected me to, go for a different move, or they just had a neutral move for Delphox. But they went for bounce. Bounce is, about half my health, and it paralyzed me too, which wasn't all that bad because I am a Trick Room set. It was more the fact that if I'd be able to get an attacking move off, right? So I managed to get the Trick Room off. So this Hoopa had Trick Room, Dark Pulse, Thunderbolt, and Psybeam. Psybeam was just there for a bit of disrespect, right? It also had Room Service, so I could drop my speed even more. So Cinderace is going to dry to a nice fat Psybeam. And that's beautiful, right? Perfect stuff, right? And also, it had a Metronome as well. They just skipped that part, but it did steal a Metronome, I believe. So now we're going to go for Dark Pulse here on the Ogerpon coming in. Good damage. It's going to have Ivy Cug Girl, right? And that's the end of Hoopa. It's not going to be able to live that. Very, very powerful Pokemon. Now I've got Delphox left and Klefki. So I thought, well, Klefki's not a bad swap in for Ogerpon. What's it really going to be able to do to it? Usually it's got maybe low kick as a coverage move or a fighting move, but there's not a lot. So since the Trick Room's up, I thought I'd set a Calm Mind up here, boost my offenses a bit. Here comes the Ivy Cug Girl. Now that was definitely a crit, I could tell by the damage, and that's going to activate my Key Berry. So if this doesn't get a crit, it's going to be doing no damage whatsoever. I've also got Draining Kiss, and I thought, well, that's a pretty good idea. I'll just keep using Draining Kiss, I'll be able to heal myself back. So I went for the Draining Kiss, right? And you wouldn't read about it. I got a Magician and a Metronome. I think this team all had Metronome. Like every single one of them had Metronome. I'm not even joking. They seen the damage and then they just rage quitted right after that. So little homie had a Metronome on every Pokemon, and after seeing the damage on Klefki, they just dipped. They were like, nah, I don't want to verse this Pokemon. Let's get some likes on the video, people. Let's get some comments today. How you doing? Do you love the videos? Hope you do. And yeah. I also got a question too. Since there's only 6 Pokemon with Magician, what Pokemon do you reckon should get Magician? What do you think? That's an interesting question. I might think about that by myself. Maybe Hypno could be a good Pokemon. All right, this was actually a pretty funny battle. So I've got another random battle here. I'm not really sure of the trainer's name, but they had a Grottle lead. So Grottle isn't something you'd see hardly at all, right? Usually, typically, if you're running a Grottle, you run a bulky Everlight set with, say, Leech Seed. It'll be a defensive tank, right? They straight up Terra off the bat here into Terra Ground, so that surprised me a little bit. Braxion's going to miss Hypnosis, and it's going to be able to get its Blunder Policy up. So I'm like, well, at least that's good, right? I'm going to be able to get around these, the speed drops I received from that. But it had Terra Blast as well as Bulldoze. I was like, come on. My poor Braxion, it can't catch a break here. So it's 3 battles in a row where it got wrecked. But it's all good, guys. Trust, it's going to do something in some of the other battles. I promise. So we're going to swap in Fennec again. Now I know that it's going to be able to put me down to a Sash. The reason I swapped turn 1 is I thought they'd go for Leech Seed, right? So Bulldoze is only going to help Fennekin under the Trick Room. So I've got my Focus Sash going, and I've got the Trick Room happening now. So I can set that up. Now, I can do one of 2 things. I can go for Foul Play and steal the item, or go for Flare Blitz. Now, Flare Blitz was on there if I just wanted to clear the field instantly. So they had an Assault Vest. And an Assault Vest. That's the second Assault Vest I've stolen. So that's 2 Assault Vests now. So Assault Vest Fennekin, only on PIMPNITE's channel, right? And Grottle, you're not going to see this content anywhere else. Next Pokemon we got is going to be normal Hoopa. Now, Hoopa's going to have its Room Service activated. So Room Service, if you hold it, will activate and drop your speed by 1 stage. This was like a scummy, flinching set under Trick Room, if you haven't noticed already. I want to say that critical hit didn't matter after it lost its Assault Vest, because Hoopa's got a lot of special attack. This was max health and max special attack, quiet nature, low IVs too. Next Pokemon's going to be Porygon Z, so I thought, alright, you have to be using Shadow Ball here. I smell a rat, because you're not going to use a normal move, because I'm Psychic and Ghost. You've got, or maybe you're using Dart Pulse. I was like, Shadow Ball or Dart Pulse. That has to be the reason they've sent in Porygon Z. So I'm going for the Terra, freaking ground, not dark. And I did some pretty good damage there. I stole a Black Belt. So I was like, oh, they've got a fighting move. Then they went Tri-Attack. I was like, what? There's no way. Then I disrespected them with a Psybeam. The Porygon Z fainted, and then they rage quitted. What was that battle? I don't know what's going. Let's get some likes on the video for a Psybeam KO. Come on, guys. Like, let's get them likes happening. That deserves one, right? Come on. A Psybeam KO. Like, I put that on there. Seriously, I put the Psybeam KO on there for confusion, and then Dart Pulse for flinching. All right, next battle. I actually battled this person in my last team. And they had this really powerful rain team, right? And I just matched up with them again, a while ago, right? So I thought, all right, I'll give them a shot. The only problem is, although I've seen their team before, my team is dreadfully weak to their team because I've got 3 fire types and straight away, right? So they had all the advantages. So I was like, wonder if I can give them a good challenge, right? So I stole a Choice Scarf from their Basculegion. And I swapped Fennekin out. So, like, that really sucks because that's not going to help me at all, right? So I went into Klefki here. Klefki, I thought would be a good swap in for this so I can activate my Key Berry, right? So I've got the Key Berry. I dodged the Aqua Jet, by the way. And I've got that defensive boost now. So I can finish it off with virtually anything. I was like, well, I could go Thunder Wave or I could set up the Calm Mind. Basculegion is going to go for a Wave Crash. So it is doing a significant amount of damage to my Klefki. So I'm setting these Calm Minds up. I'm actually trying to get a Klefki sweep in a couple of these battles. I was trying to go for it, right? So I've got a couple of, I've got that Calm Mind. I've got like Draining Kiss. I thought that'll be good for some damage, right? Not that I'm going to get much health recovery after all of Basculegion's Wave Crash, recall, right? So I'm going to get Basculegion to kiss goodnight, tuck it in with its pillow and cookies and cream and milk, and that's the end of it. So that's one Pokemon down. I was very, very scared of that. But as you know, well, if you don't know, there's a lot more Water-type Pokemon. Now, the only Pokemon that, was probably the least threatening was Rillaboom, but I'm sure it still had like a ground-type move or something, or a knockoff or something, which was going to be bad for quite a few of these Pokemon. So it's going to go for high horsepower. Now that is super effective against 4 of my team, so I have to get rid of this soon. So bye-bye Klefki. So swapping in Delphox. Now this, you're not going to see this too often. Like this is the, I don't want to spoil it, but this is like, This is probably one of the saltiest moments I've had all year. Okay, watch this, right? Like, I'm being serious about this too. So, I know they're going to keep spamming high horsepower. It's actually a pretty good setup for Delphox here, because if I can get, a Calm Mind up or a Staff Berry, I might be able to get a sweep going here. So I'm putting all these substitutes up. I'm trying to stall out the grassy terrain as well, because it is a bit annoying. I mean, it's good for me, but it's also bad for me, because that obviously has grassy glide too, which will be annoying against some of my other Pokemon. So I thought I may as well try and stall that out. So obviously they know what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep going for the sub until that ends, and they swap in the Pelipper. So I'm like, okay, this is great, because this gives me the best move to use for stored power, Calm Mind, right? So I can get a free Calm Mind up, and I've still got my Staff Berry left as well. But I don't know what the Staff Berry is going to be. It could be a +2 in attack, I don't know what it's going to be. Plus, I've also got Magician as well, so I'm also going to receive an item too. So I don't know what I'm going to receive. So I've got Hydro Pumping Pelipper. That was, imagine if you missed that. So if the Pelipper missed that, I could have got another Calm Mind off. So that was pretty lucky going for that, and and landing that, because that would have been bad for them. I probably wouldn't even have bothered to continue to sub down here for a berry. So I'm subbing away and hopefully getting that dub. And Pelipper's going to go for U-turn this time. So I don't think they wanted to risk Hydro Pump again. I think they probably realized they were fairly lucky getting that one. And Pelipper's got to swap out. So like, okay, what's going to come in? And it's Among Us. I was like, all right. So you might be able to, you probably, someone's going to know what's going on. Okay, watch this, right? So I went for the Calm Mind, right? I'm like, this is good, right? This is done, right? I can sweep this team easy. I can just stored power this entire team, with this, right? This is fine, but I wanted to get my berry so badly. So I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna take the easy way out. I'm gonna do it the PIMPNITE way, all right? So I was like, okay, I've got just enough here doing them quick maths to do a substitute. I lived on 1 HP, merchants available. Like, watch this, right? I got a speed boost. I was like, wow, that's good, so I can outspeed everything easy. So I got the speed boost, right? The Clear Smog comes here, but Clear Smog's not going to work because I've got a sub up, right? Now I've got stored power. This thing's got like well over 100 base power now. It's like, what's that, 120 or 40. Among Us gets dropped like a stone, but watch this. It's heartbreaking, people. It's heartbreaking. It is truly heartbreaking. What happened, right? I got Magician and I stole Black Sludge for my fate. Oh my goodness. What I should have done was I should have just used stored power and swept their team, but I wanted to do the Staff Berry as well. So they were lucky that I could have swept them, but I chose not to. All right, I was incredibly salty there as well, but as soon as I seen the Among Us, I was like, yeah, I was going to run away. I don't know why I pressed the run button then. So we had, I think I must have misclicked for fight or something. Anyway, in comes Ludicolo, who's going to take me out of the weather ball. I'm choice scarfed with 0 IVs and speed, so I was never going to outspeed anything there. So I was like, is this over, guys? Can I take any of these Pokemon out, or are they going to win? Like with 4 Pokemon remaining. So I thought, all right, I'll try and claw my way back here, even though I should have won this already. So Weather Ball does a lot of damage there, like a lot. So I'm going to set up Trick Room here. So Trick Room is now going to be good for Hoopa Unbound and Hoopa. And we've still got Braxion in the back too. But Braxion it's going to be difficult to make Braxion work against this team, right? So I had to send it in at the right time. So I'm going to go for the Fling Iron Ball. Ludicolo dumpster. Didn't even stand a ghost of a chance, right? So that's down. That's gone, which is nice. And Hoopa actually is able to attack this turn. So it has Grassy Glide Rillaboom. If I lift this, I can get its item as well. So I thought, well, I could go Terra Fighting Drain Punch, or I could just go Zen Headbutt. The problem is, I was like, am I even going to live this? I was like, probably not, because it's just a normal Rillaboom set. It's very, very powerful. Very, very standard meta team I'm facing in the moment. This isn't a joke team like mine. So we're bringing in Hoopa now. I've got my room service. So they could go for the Grassy Glide again, which will do tons of damage. I will live, though. And I've got Dark Pulse. So I thought, look, I could go Terra Dark Pulse here. I mean, I have very, very little options left here. I mean, I've got a Braxion with Fire Blast, which will be nice, but I don't see it. I don't see it doing too much. So I was like, I'll go for Dark Pulse. Let's see what happens. So it did about as much as I thought, and I stole its Choice Band. So I already knew that it was Choice Band, judging on the damage that it was doing there with high horsepower and stuff. So it's pretty meta item on it. So that is the end of Hoopa. All I've got left out is a Braxion. So I'm like, can I really even do anything now, or am I just going to, lose here, right? So the Trick Room has run out. Back into Braxion. At least the Trick Room had ended, right? But the problem is I wasn't running any speed on this. I was relying on Blunder Policy, right? Hypnosis. So they're going to go for a U-turn. Maybe they didn't know what sort of set I was running or whatever. Or maybe they thought I had a Sash, and then went into Pelipper. So Pelipper was the easiest option. All they had to do was send it in and use Hurricane or Hydro Pump and just, press A to win, right? I went for Hypnosis and a miss. I was like, that's actually good, because that's going to boost my speed. So Braxion's speed stat is 72 or 3, around there. And with no EVs in it, doubled its, at level 100 at least, it puts it over around 400 speed. So it's pretty quick. So what I did is I doubled up with another Hypnosis. This time it actually landed. I'm like, this is good. This is good. Now, as you know, Braxion is only a Fire-type Pokemon. So I'm not going to get any stab on, say, Psychic. And it's probably not going to do a lot of damage here. So I thought, well, I've got Terra Water up my sleeve if I really need it. So I did some pretty good damage there, and I stole a Damp Rock from Pelipper as well. Not that it really mattered, you know. So it's a 2-year KO. I went for Psychic again. I was like, please get a crit, please get a crit. And it took it out. I got a crit. I was like, yes. So that's the end of Pelipper. So like, cool, I might actually be able to give this, give them a really good battle now. You know, what's Rillaboom's going to die to Fire Blast once the rain runs out, and it's got to get out. All I've got to do is get around Archiludin. Now, I've got Terra Water up my sleeve as well, but it was a catch-22. If I went for Terra Water, if I somehow got around Archiludin, it's just going to use Grassy Glide, right? They can just walk away from their controller and win, right? So I got to not use a Terra. So first things first, I went for Hypnosis, and it missed. I was like, damn it. Archiludin is going to go for a Timmy Terra, Draco Meteor. I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm living this one, and I didn't. It critted me. So that's the end of the battle, but a very, very close battle considering what I bought there. For sure, but definitely I should have just won the battle when I had all those calm minds up. But you know, I wanted to get that. I wanted to see what that berry was. At least, you know what? At least the berry wasn't like an attack boost, because I probably would have been more salty about that. All right, if you enjoyed the video so far, hit that like button, people. Tell me what Pokemon you think should get a Magician. And maybe, do you reckon Magician abilities should get a buff? Let me know about it in the comments. Or just tell me how your day's been going. I hope you're all been well. Okay, so we've got, I don't even know what the trainer name is. I have to read it again. Starts with T. We got a Kyogre lead here. It's going to, was that Hydro Pump? So we used Hydro Pump. Okay, interesting. Not Hydro Pulse, not Water Spout. So I've got that Trick Room up, right? Now I've got Foul Play and I've got Copycat. So I thought I'll just do Foul Play. I'll see if I can, steal the item there. This did not have an item, and then it fainted me with Heavy Slam. So it's a Heavy Slam Kyogre. It's a Heavy Slam Wailord. If you know, you know. Now, we're going to swap in Klefki here. So I'm thinking, all right, it's got Heavy Slam. That's going to do nothing to a little set of car keys. Tibu Dante 12. Damn. Homie got that username. All right, so we're going to go with that Ho owes me money. So we got that Kyogre, and we got that Ho-Oh, right? Now, this is a pretty nasty matchup for Klefki. Even though it's raining, it's probably going to hit pretty hard. But I thought, well, if it's Sacred Fire, I should be able to tank it pretty well. So I should be okay. So I'm setting up these Calm Minds here. I'm getting ready to try and sweep this legendary team, right? I think most of them were legendaries. So that Ho uses a Fire Blast in the rain, and it actually does a really, really good amount of damage, and it burns me as well. I'm like, is he kidding me? So that was a good quarter of my health with 2 Calm Minds up in the rain. So I'm like, once this rain ends, this is actually really gonna hurt. So I thought, okay, I need a backup strategy. So I paralyzed the Ho-Oh because Ho-Oh's very bulky too. This is naturally bulky, even like a terrible set, right? So 2 Fire Blast and the rain's gonna stop. So I'm like, all right, I can't do anything, right? Because Flash Cannon does nothing. Draining Kiss is gonna do nothing. Look, I could swap into something like Delphox, but it might have something like Brave Bird as well, and that's going to hurt. Then they swapped out their Ho-Oh, which really did surprise me. I'm surprised by that. And then they brought in Milotic. So like, oh, this is another Pokemon I can't do much to outside of Draining Kiss. So I went for Flash Cannon, and I was like, oh man, I hope I don't get a special defense drop, because that'll activate competitive, right? But, thank goodness that didn't happen. Then Milotic went for a Water Pulse. Like, what is this set? And I think this is one of those stupid .com mons as well. Guys, when you give out those hack mons, at least, why are you not giving them good sets for? Like, you're going to at least do it properly. So if you get one of these .com mons, just release it. It's just hack rubbish. All right, so I'm going to give Milotic a little kiss there. And I got a bit of health, little bit of health back there. So, like, I might be able to live one more Water Pulse here. One more, it's going to be a close thing, And I did. I lived it. So I was like, this is nice. This is good. So I've got one more turn to live it, so I can go for either another Draining Kiss or swap. So I decided to go for Draining Kiss again, just for some, extra damage. Usually Milotic has, recover. So I was half expecting it to use that, but it got paralyzed. I'm like, I actually might be able to flank this Milotic. This is going to be really good. Like 2 more hits, right? So I went for Draining Kiss again. 1 more hit and it's down. Now, I got a lot of health, so I know I can lift the water pulse. And Milotic's now going to go for another fat water pulse, and it critted me. I'm like, oh, come on. You were so lucky. So that's the end of Klefki. So I'm like, all right, I've lost, a third of my team now. I haven't taken out a single Pokemon. It's I've got to redeem myself, guys, after that battle. So I was like, okay, let's go for Carmine. Water Pulse is going to do donkeys, I can get I should be able to get 2 or 3 Carmines up here, unless something really bad happens. So I got to Paralyze. I'm like, that's really good. That's a free turner setup. Then the homie Tibu Dante 69 swaps out the Milotic and goes into Necrozma. So like, oh, okay. There's not a lot. I mean, I can set Carmines up, but I'm probably going to need to go for Fire Blast here. To get through this. It's going to be able to, hit me with a ton of damage too. So I'm thinking, should I sub down here for a berry? That could be a very good idea. Or should I just straight up go for Fire Blast? I was like, you know what? Let's go for Fire Blast. Let's get some damage. So incredible damage, didn't take it out. Night Slash doesn't take me out either. So I was like, that's actually really close. So I was like, if I do my maths right, I can live on 1 health. And I did again, you wouldn't read about it. So I got that special attack boost from a Starfree, which is incredible luck. So that means I think I had 2 Carmines up. Is that +4 in special attack and +2 in special? That's crazy. So there's 6 boosts there. That's 140 base power stored power now. So this thing is popping off. Now, there's no fungus, amungus, or black sludge there. The coast is clear, So that is the end of Necrozma. So now we're gonna get a Delphox sweep this time. We really are. So we got Milotic and Kyogre left. So out comes Kyogre. Now Kyogre's about to go for a heavy slam here. So it's gonna set up that Drizzle. I've got stored power. There is no way this is living. No way. So that is the end of Kyogre. Unless it had I don't know, a focus band or something along those lines, So 2 Pokemon down. Out comes the best, ! times 4. I'm like, oh no, I forgot about Terrapagus, right? So okay, here we go, guys. Let's see if I can feint it at full health with Terra Shell. I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna happen though. So I went for stored power. I'm hoping for the best here. Oh my good! If I had Terra Psychic instead of Terra Fire, I would have taken that out. That would have been crazy. So that is the end of Delphox. It fainted. Damn. Just that Terra Shell ability just countered me. So things aren't looking all that good now. So I've got a Braxion left in the range. So okay, I've got Psychic and Fire Blast. I've also got Terra Blast as well. So I thought, oh, we'll see what happens there. So I used Earth Power, a lot of damage. I was running max health, which allowed me to actually lift that. And then I went for Psychic. So Psychic was just enough probably to take it out. So that's good getting rid of that. We still have Ho over Milotic though. Milotic didn't have a lot of health. Now we've got Ho-Oh. So looking at my moves, the only move that could truly do something here would be Terra Blast Water. It was also, I noticed it's also raining as well from the earlier Kyogre. So I'm like, I'm just going to go for it. Let's see how much this does. It is max special attack, but Ho-Oh's got some big special defense too. Even just his base is very, very, high compared to Braxion. I think this has 90 special attack or something. So go for the Terra Blast in the rain, Terra Blast Water in the rain, and good quality damage there. Ho-Oh got paralyzed. So finally Braxion is pulling its weight hard. It's making up for those first couple of battles there. And that is the end of Ho-Oh. So we've got Milotic left, and there's one other Pokemon too. I thought that was their last Pokemon there for a second. Next Pokemon is Milotic. It's on 1 health, so I'm like, I guess I can take this out with virtually anything. I just went for a Psych. I don't know what was going. I guess maybe they were hoping I outsped or I had a Quick Claw or something. Nothing surprises me anymore. You guys have seen many of these battles to know that nothing is 100% solid, right? Last Pokemon is Miraidon. I was like, oh shoot, this is very, very bad. So I don't have a blunder policy up at all. It's not like I could have used it last turn anyway, and it's got Electro Drift. So I thought, okay, I'm going to have to feint this Miraidon somehow. I've got both the Hoopas left. Now, Hoopa Unbound is very, very special defensive. It's got like 120 or 30 base, so is normal Hoopa. So I thought I can at least live one. You know, the electric terrain is up though, so it's going to, you know, hit very, very hard, right? So Hoopa is going to take a fat amount of damage and get the Trick Room up, which is good. So now at least I've got the speed control, but I have to do some damage now. So I thought, all right, I either go for Dark Pulse flinch spam or I go for a Confuse from Psybeam. I was like, yeah, this probably isn't the time to do it, but let's do it, right? This is PIMPNITE's channel. So I stole a Shell Bell. So that was pretty good, right? That was good. You know, Psybeam Shell Bell, right? Quality stuff there. And now Marino's going to go for Dragon Pulse and Faint Me. That was fairly ambitious there. I mean, maybe if I had Hoopa Unbound, I might have lived that, but we're going to swap it to Hoopa Unbound anyway. So I've got Fling and Iron Ball still left, so I can fling my Iron Ball. So going for that, Maridon completely dumps it. That's a very, very powerful attack, Fling Iron Ball on Hoopa Unbound. Anyway, that is the end of the battle there. Thank you, Tibu Dante, 12 for the battle, whoever you are. Let's get on to our final battle today. If you enjoy the battles and the videos, you want to support the channel, it takes 1 second. Hit that like button, people. We've got our 6th battle today. This is another random battle. So first Pokemon is going to be Blastoise. If anyone feels like translating the trainer names too, I would absolutely like that. Okay, so Blastoise is a physical set. So, ooh, that's interesting. So a Wave Crash Blastoise. It's not all that bad with Shoal Smash physical Blastoise. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not as good as a special set, but it's still pretty scary. So I've got a Trick Room up here. Which is going to be useful, and I thought, well, I'll go Foul Play and I'll steal the White Herb, right? So I stole the, oh, that must have been slightly cut out there. I stole the White Herb and it just finished me off there. So that is the end of the Fennekin. I've got Trick Room up, which is fine. So I'm now going to go into Hoopa. Now Hoopa, this has Thunderbolt, so that sort of dealt with. The reason I put Thunderbolt on here because, you know, half my team is fire type, so I need to have a powerful way to hit any of those water type Pokemon. So that is down, which is good. I don't think they would have got a Shell Smash off in that situation. And we've got Skeleturge coming in. So with my typing, I was like, okay, you're definitely going to be going for. You've got to be going for a Shadow Ball or something like that. So I'm going for a Terra here, and it's going to be Terra Dark. I don't mind Terra Dark on normal Hoopa because it does cover its weaknesses, you know, fairly well. So we got Terra Dark, Dark Pulse, and Quiet Nature. Somehow that lived, and I stole it as a Choice Scarf Skeleturge. Alright, so it's a Choice Scarf Skeleturge, and he used Hex. So like, okay, Hex, Shadow Ball, you know, Ghost move there. So, but the Choice Scarf made me laugh a lot. I was like, that's not very good because I've got a Trick Room set. But I still outsped a Trick Room, which is pretty funny. That was a max speed Skeleturge there, only on PIMPNITE Shadow, right? You don't see this these memes anywhere else. This is a battle against Ryoto as well. Now we got Como. So I really wanted to use Psybeam, but I was sort of, you know, locked into that. Now it's going to go for Sword Dance on the swap. It's a physical set. I actually stayed in here because I wanted to do some damage. I was a little bit concerned that it was going to use a different move than that, but it didn't. It used Sword Dance in close combat, so that's not too bad. Interesting to use Sword Dance. It does have access to Belly Drum and stuff, but maybe they didn't want to, you know, use a set that gave up half the health. It can be a little bit more difficult to, you know, get the +6 and, you know, instead of +2, right? Bringing in Klefki here, so I've got Draining Kiss on this. Draining Kiss should demolish Como, especially with, you know, a drop there in its defenses. This may also cause a Terror as well. Now, Como's going to go for another Sword Dance. Bro, serious? Okay, so went for another Sword. That was way too overconfident there. No way. So they definitely should have just attacked me there for sure. Even with no special attack EVs, it was just 4 times, right? All right, so out comes Charizard. Now, Charizard is going to be able to take me out with an Ember, so I got to swap into Braixen, right? At least I had 3 fire-type Pokemon I could depend on. This is a physical Charizard. It got that Flare Blitz, but, you know, Braixen ate it like a snack, you know, easy peasy. So I've got Hypnosis, and I've got that option, right? So I thought, I'll go Hypnosis first, but this Charizard's got Bulldoze, so it's gonna drop my speed, so it's gonna wreck the whole part of my set, and then of course I land Hypnosis, so it doesn't freaking matter anyway, right? So this Braixen, right, was mostly it failed, but it had some good times. So Charizard is having an afternoon nap here, and I could just keep going for Psychic, you know. That's kind of what I'm going to do here. Charizard is like probably a 3-hit KO. Possibly. If I get some more special defense drops, it could be a bit, you know, maybe 2, but I went for a cut. Actually, no, to be fair, it's 4, looking at the damage. So it's about 4-hit KO. So Braixen is going to keep going for Psychic again. Charizard is going to live on, like, virtually 1 health. So I got the option of swapping out here or conserving Braixen. At this stage, I was like, well, I can't Terra Water anymore. I could just finish it off, because I believe I'll live 1 attack here, like, if it's Bulldoze. And it was Bulldoze, and I did manage to live it. So I was like, that's good. It didn't really have much. It was a fully physical set. So I'd say I had something, trying to think of some other physical moves to Charizard. Thinking it's Aerial Ace, Dragon Claw, Wing Attack. It's not as good on the physical side, obviously, as a special. Next Pokemon is Ursaluna. I'm gonna get outsped by an Ursaluna. So that's the end of Braixen. Oh, that was just sad. But I was like, what's the point of swapping out? You know, there was no point. So going to Delphox, I was like, all right, here we go. I need to get let's get a sweep here. I gotta make myself feel better after that Black Sludge. You guys aren't allowed to roast me for that Black Sludge one either. Okay, so go for Carmine, boosting my special defense, and use Headlong. Are you serious? And I use Headlong Rush. So, like, what is going on? So, use Moonblast and then Headlong Rush. So, I'll admit I didn't expect the mix set. So, that completely demolished my Delphox. And, my hopes of trying to get a sweep there. So, I'm like, all right, I've got a Hoopa left. Hoopa arm down. And then we got Klefki in the back. And it's 2 all right. It's a pretty tight battle right now. So, here comes the Moonblast. It did some fat damage to Hoopa. And I've got Trick Room up. Now, Ursaluna itself isn't really a fast Pokemon by any means, so I was like, I should be able to outspeed this. And I did. I got a Drain Punch off. Now, Drain Punch obviously didn't finish it off, but it allowed me to get some health back. Actually, quite a lot of health back there to live the next Moonblast, which is good. I think even a critical... I wouldn't have lived a critical hit, but I was able to live that. So a couple of Drain Punches took out the Ursaluna, and now I'm back in the game. That's excellent, because I don't think my Klefki would have enjoyed getting hit by Headlong Rush, Last Pokemon on the team is going to be Garchomp. So Garchomp is primarily a physical attacker. I've got my Fling and Iron Ball here. I was like, this is good. This should do some really good damage. So flinging the Iron Ball off, and Garchomp only just lives there, and it's going to land a Dragon Rush. So that is the end of Hoopa, definitely. And I've got my Klefki's left. So that's all that's left, my Klefki. And now the Trick Room is still up. I just have to give Garchomp a kiss goodnight. That's it. The good thing was the Trick Room was up. Otherwise, it could easily go for Earthquake. So we got a Timmy Terra last turn, and it's going to be Terra Dragon these nuts. But it doesn't matter, right? Because I outspeed it. And even Drain Kiss will do enough to take out the Garchomp. And that's it. That is the end of the battle. Hope you guys enjoyed the Magician team. It was really fun stealing lots of items and had some really great fun battles with it. Fun team to do. I'll catch you after some more videos during the week. Peace out, everyone. Drop a like. And I'll probably see you tomorrow or the next day. Peace.